We're back on Nemo Nation with another fast-paced Fastport Studios half hour.
It is fast port and it is fast paced over here at the Degas House. Our first guest, we're going to get it rolling right now. Danielle Spinelli is the host of the Tell Me Everything podcast. She's also known as the Fraud Girl. No, it's because she's an expert in fraud, not because she's going to rip you off. Trusted fraud fighter and carrier vetting expert. She was honored with the 2024 Women in Logistics Award. Descartes, MyCarrierPortal, and MacroPoint. We are thrilled to have her here this morning. You can find her on LinkedIn at Danielle Spinelli 11 or MyCarrierPortal.com. Dave, say good morning to our guest.
Danielle, good morning and welcome. It's great to have you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on this morning.
Oh, goodness. Hey, how was your Halloween? Did you have a good weekend?
I did. Lots of trick-or-treating. I still have one little one that wants to trick-or-treat, so he was Dexter, and we got to do all the fun things with him.
Wait a minute. The Dexter?
Yeah, I know. I don't know how he came up with this, but yeah, he decided he wanted to be Dexter last minute, so we had to run to Walmart, pick up some clothes, and it was pretty fun.
So where do you have your little stash of candy that you set aside before you put it out on Friday night?
Right, I know. I had to hide that one for sure. My kids usually get a hold of it. And then afterwards, I'm like, there's a tax for me taking you trick-or-treating, right? So I have to have my candy tax.
Yes, indeed. One for me, one for you. One for you, two for me, one for you, three for me. Okay, let's get on to something serious here because you are the fraud girl. And I sent you a thing here yesterday. The war on reality has hit trucking in a very direct and costly way. And the question, is this company I'm working with real or not, has become a real question. It's a vital question. So the question for you, Danielle, is how did we get here? How did this happen? Who let the dogs out? I mean, what's going on?
Oh, I know. It's very wild that this has escalated so much. What my personal opinion on everything, and, I guess this isn't factual unless we talk to all the bad guys, but really, at the end of the day, we've been double brokering within logistics for, since times began, basically. A guy couldn't pick up a load. He would have his buddy do it for him, take a little bit off the top. The load always delivered, though. So, yes, double brokering was bad. But we always also kind of looked the other way because at the end of the day, the load got delivered. Really during 2020, everybody got sent home. We had a lot of dispatchers overseas, and they really learned the ins and outs of logistics and kind of saw, oh yeah, people turn a blind eye at double brokering a lot of times. So this would be our way to kind of infiltrate a lot of loopholes that they could get in, and golly, did they find them. So we've had to, as an industry, make a lot of changes, do a lot of education pieces. I know my software company that we do, MyCarrierPortal, we had to make a ton of changes just to try to stay ahead of these guys and combat them. So it's been very much a cat and mouse game now that they've, came in hard hitting for the logistics industry.
Danielle, I'm going to tell this very quick story. A long-time listeners have heard this, but back in 1971, a man named Charlie Douglas here in New Orleans went to Loyola University and told them that their big 50,000-watt radio station, WWL-AM, was a powerhouse and that they were missing an opportunity by not doing any programming or selling any materials to truck drivers who just owned the roads at night. And they said, oh, wow, yeah, let's do it. And that was 50-something years ago, and here we are today, no longer on the radio, but now live streaming. So do you think that somebody, okay, so, I think it's Nigeria, the third biggest portion of their income is, scamming emails. Do you think somebody someplace said, we're missing a big opportunity here, trucking. I'll bet there's a lot of opportunity to get inside trucking. I mean, did somebody just have a light bulb come over their head? Is there sort of a timeline on any of that anybody understands? I know that's a long, drawn-out question.
No, there definitely has been. I mean, there's call centers in India. So India, I know, is a big one where they have the call centers where people go into work, and that's their day in, day out job is to scam people basically in logistics. That's what they do. Formerly, a lot of those people were actually dispatching services, so they're legitimate. or at least the head guys of these organizations. And then because they've learned the ins and outs of trucking, really have been able to talk the talk, do all the things, because there's a different lingo we speak in logistics, as we all know. So because they were in it ahead of time, they're able to know the ins and outs of things, and then have learned like, oh yeah, this is a cash cow. We can really, do a lot of things from overseas. A lot. There's like the, gangs here within the U.S., but a lot of them are overseas. Armenia is a big one, and India's gotten to be a pretty big one. I know they just did the big sting on those 12 stings of them through the FBI.
Mm-hmm. The Sting organization.
Yeah, which it's hard because Sting is, basically like a Smith, right, over there. So, I mean, it's hard to say that. I know some people are like, I'm never working with a Sting. Well, you're probably not going to move a lot of freight. But, obviously some of them were bad. And, but yeah, no, definitely it is where they, like I said, I think they learned the industry and learned, this isn't easy. There's so many loopholes. Like a blind shipment, for instance, like that's like right now the biggest way that they're hitting drivers is rerouting them through blind shipments. And it's wild that we do that. That's such a crazy thing. If you think about it outside of being in logistics, you would never be like, what? You're telling me to go somewhere totally different and no paperwork ever shows that? How is this even a thing? So.
I have a question for our listeners out there that I'm kind of curious what you say. So is there a way to kind of incorporate this sort of diligence not only into your company, into your pre-trip as well? Are there things that you should check before you actually head out on the road? Because so much of being behind the wheel of a truck is flow state, is getting into kind of a rhythm. Is there something that you can incorporate in your daily routine that will help prevent you from getting defrauded?
Definitely. Really knowing who you're working with, as like if you're working with a broker or shipper, confirming that this is a legitimate entity and it's not somebody posing as the broker or shipper. That's, I guess, number one. And then number two is really going off of paperwork. If you do have a blind shipment, so that's where they're hitting drivers the heaviest right now, is these blind shipments or rerouting. Have a way to still be able to vet that blind shipment. Like at the end of the day, somebody on that paperwork does understand the real where people should really go, and it should still have on there, either the right pickup address or the right delivery, or at least have the right broker name on there, so that you can still verify something on that paperwork. And on a blind shipment, that should be disclosed to you prior to you even entering, the facility. So a lot of times they're getting sent in somewhere, they're getting different BOLs, and then later the scammers are like, hey, this is actually going here as a blind shipment. Or rerouting them completely, like, hey, actually now the delivery is going here instead. Here's new bills, and kind of having a process in place where when you do have a blind shipment or you do have a rerouting, there's just an extra step of verification. Whether that's your dispatcher that needs to do a little bit of extra digging in because they have a little bit extra time on their hands to be able to, look up who that entity is and make those extra phone calls. Or if you're an owner-operator, making a simple outbound call and confirming things can really save you.
Danielle, the fraud girl Spinelli, is with us here this morning. And MyCarrierPortal, Portal, MyCarrierPortal.com is Danielle's web address. Danielle, Dave here. I wanted to kind of go back to something you mentioned, and this may turn out to be Dave's dumb question of the day. But
Dave, dumb question of the day, number one.
Do you think that it's possible that some of the people in India, Romania, who are working for these operations really don't even know that what they're doing is criminal? Is that a possibility?
I sure hope so.
Yeah,
I sure hope so, because I don't know how you would sleep at night knowing that you're ripping people off. But there are a lot of different. I mean, cultures are different. Like you were saying before, with Nigeria, for instance, they have. And I know like the Bahamas were one for a while where they're scamming like our grandparents and calling them and saying, that your kid's in jail and you need to wire this money and stuff. I mean, there are different cultures out there where that's just kind of accepted and it's okay. It's not frowned upon as much as we frown upon it here in the States. So either hopefully they don't know about things, or it's just so normal there that they don't really think twice. I don't really know the answer.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. We're going to get you back on for a full half-hour conversation at some point. We do this pretty rapidly here, but we'd love to have you back if you'll have us.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to.
Thank you so much. You're welcome back anytime. Give them that website one more time, Dave.
The website for Danielle is MyCarrierPortal.com.
And you can find her at Danielle Spinelli at Danielle Spinelli 11 over on LinkedIn. Make that connection, make that hookup. Thank you, Danielle.